got this chiffon material. My mum's been having a clear out because she's coming to live with me soon. And she used to do a lot of dressmaking and things. And she said, would this be any use to you? So I thought, well, what I would do is see how it works in resin. Because it's so pretty and it gives off so many different colours. I don't know if the resin is going to ruin it or what, but we can find out. So I'm going to try in 3 different molds, because I think if it works in these, then actually it may make some really nice lamps. I don't know if it's going to float up. It probably will. So I'm going to use quite a bit in here. I want to crinkle it all up like this before I put it in and see how much I need to kind of fill up that whole mold. So my first thing I think is to decide how much I actually want. I want to cut it so if I do want to use it for a different project, I can. I do want to fill it up quite well. So to about there. For that one. If I need to put more in, I've got loads of this material, so I can put more in. She's come up with so many great things. She's, oh, is this any use to you? It's brilliant. I've used material in resin many times before, and I'm sure you've seen the videos, but I've never used this chiffon. I think it should go translucent-ish. We will see. So I've cut my material. Now I'm going to work with this soaked in resin because I think that's going to be the best way to do it. But I've left it in there so I know which one I want in there. I love the juxtaposition of the pink with the skull. I just think that's cute. I don't think I'm going to add anything else in there. No mica powders or sequins or anything like that. I want to see what it looks like that. I'm going to be using the Pure Glossy because I buy this in bulk. You can buy it in 1 gallons, 2 gallons. You can buy it in smaller pots. It's such a reasonable price that when I do experiments like this, I know this works so well. But if it doesn't turn out as great as I think it's going to be, it hasn't cost me a lot of money. I love this resin and the glossiness of it afterwards, and the cure is absolutely amazing. It's quite capable of working with a mold of this size, which is also something I enjoy. So if you haven't tried it, check it out. If I've got a discount code, I'll let you know. I'll leave that in the description below. I buy this by, as I said, by the gallon. It mixes up as a 1-to-1 and it mixes up really easily. Well, my resin should be mixed now. And I'm ready to use that. Now, if you're wondering where I get these large bowls from, they come with my resin toolkit, which comes with loads of great size jugs with really exact measurements on them as well. You get mixing sticks, you get this massive mat with it, loads of stuff. And the link for that is in the description below. It's really great value. So what I plan to do is take my chiffon out of here first, put it in this second bowl because I want to make sure it's fully covered before I do anything else. So I'm going to pour some resin in there, but I'm also going to pour some resin in the skull itself as well and move that all around in that base to make sure I've got some in the bottom. Now all I'm going to do is go in here with this, give it a bit of a squidge around to make sure that it's fully covered in resin before I do anything else. I don't want any dry bits in there. A little bit more. Yeah, it's fully covered now. There isn't any dry bits. There's a hair there. And now I can put that in there. And what I'm going to do is slowly fill this up. Let that sink down and then carry on filling it up. Now there are going to be trap bubbles in this, I'm sure, although this resin does mix really well without many bubbles, and also it does release the bubbles quite easily as well. But some of these are going to get trapped inside this chiffon. I think that might look quite pretty, but I'm going to try and poke some of them out as well. I think there'll definitely be quite a lot of bubbles trapped in that chiffon, but again, I think that's going to give it a really nice look. You could put it in a pressure pot if you've got one, and that would get rid of those bubbles. But I don't want to do that. Work some of that out. Squidgy widgy. I'm going to try and remove some of these bubbles on the top because I don't want this material floating up, and the bubbles will cause it to float up. So I want it to lay as flush as possible because this bit is going to be the base. I mean, I could sand them down afterwards, but I never like doing that if I can avoid it because I'm lazy. Now I can top that up. And then we can put that to one side. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one and with this one. And then we can see what they look like once they're cured up, how it comes out. So they're all filled up now. I've done an extra one because I found a little piece of this coloured fabric. So I thought I'd do one with less fabric in. I am concerned with the amount of trap bubbles there are in it, and I think if I put this in a pressure pot, that's going to reduce those bubbles down and make space in there, and then you're not going to have as much resin in there. Some of these bubbles are popping to the top, and then I can pop them. So those bubbles are either going to make this look awesome when the lamp shines through it, or it's absolutely going to ruin it, and I'm going to have to think of a different way of using this in resin where it doesn't do this. Let's let these cure up, and then I can show you what they look like. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to work out. Well, I remembered while this was curing why I don't use these moulds, and it's because they're dull inside. They don't give a glossy finish. They're really meant, I think, for candles and things like that. So I don't hold out much hope for these, but I do hold out hope for the skull. Yeah, look, can you see they've got a really dull finish? Very disappointed in that. All it's done is coloured it. The other thing I think I did is I crammed too much material in there. And I think that's another reason why maybe it's not come out. Yeah, and same for that one as well. I think I crammed too much material in there and trapped too many bubbles in there. So they're a bit of a... They look alright, but they're not what I was hoping for. Now let's go with the Let's Resin skull. Well, that's come out quite nice. But again, I think I crammed too much in there because I've got holes in it. Although it doesn't matter too much with the skull. But it does look pretty. Let's have a look and see if the light shines through it. Oh, that looked awesome lit up. But that, I think it's because there isn't much in the teeth bit. But it does look nice lit up. I'm going to try again. But this time, I'm not going to use those moulds because they are crap moulds. I am going to do it with the skull. But this time, I'm going to do it with the turtle and the frog to see if that makes any difference. So this time, I'm going to do it a little bit different. What I'm going to do is get the material like this. And I'm going to cut it into smaller strips. And then place them in the resin, see how that works, and that way I hopefully aren't gonna overpower it. So for instance, like that. So I've got a small strip like that. So what I'm gonna do is cut off and then layer it in there. I'll show you what I mean when I pour the resin. So I'm also going to try rubbing a little bit of glitter onto these. Now it probably will fall through because I'm using quite a micro glitter here, but I want to see how that works on these pieces. It's not going to stick to it massively, but it should stop it sinking or floating, whichever one it's going to do. I don't want to put too much on, so I'm just going to pile these up like this and then stick a bit of glitter on and then rub that through like that, and then probably shake most of it off again. But I think it might look pretty. I have no idea. It didn't work the first time with what I did, so who knows what's going to happen this time. Yeah, that's got a little sparkle attached to it, I think. Look, yeah, you can see it a little bit, so that should help. I'm going to do that with the skull and the turtle, but not the frog. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to layer it like this. I'm going to push my resin in, and then I'm going to scriggle it up like that. I'm not sure if that's a correct term or not, to be honest. Scriggly a term? Who knows? And I'm going to pour some more in, scriggly that up a little bit, pour some more in, scriggly that up, put another layer on the top of that. So I'm putting a lot less in this time than I did last time. And then got a little gap there. I don't want that gap. I could pop that in there like that. Now I'm going to fill the feet and do the same with the feet, but with smaller pieces and the tail. Hopefully this is going to work a little bit better. I mean, those moulds were terrible. I'm going to put them in my candle making area. I'm not going to have them for resin anymore, because even though they were bought for resin, they are clearly not suitable for resin because the resin is too heavy in them anyway and it warps them a little bit. But not only that, they're not glossy, and I like my moulds to be glossy. And there are quite a few trap bubbles in this, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of them in my pressure pot, and the others I'm going to try and squeeze all the bubbles out like this here, bring them to the side, and because it's got smaller pieces in, they should come out a lot easier. Okay, now I'm going to just top that up right to the top, and then go ahead and do exactly the same with the other ones as well, and then we can compare them. These are all cured now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these ones have come out. Already from this side, they look better. Pop the eye out. Oh yeah, look at that. I really like that. So yeah, what I did wrong with this one was I put far too much in. Putting it in layers really makes a difference. Let's have a look and see what it looks like with the light going through it. Oh, that looks so cool. Not sure how well the camera's picking it up, but that really looks cool. I love that. And the little bit of glitter in there has really helped. That I put in my pressure pot, so it worked with my pressure pot. You can hardly see any bubbles whatsoever in that. I do like the way that is rippling in there. I mean, that has rippled in there beautifully. So let's have a look at the turtle there. Oh, I did do a little bit of overpouring on. Nothing new there. I can hear everyone shouting. I'm just going to take this overpouring off. I've taken the overpouring off that, and that has come out really pretty. I love that turtle. And I think that would look on a really nice base. That would look great as a night lamp. Let's have a look at little Froggy. And the little Froggy has come out brilliant as well. Look at those ripples in there and the difference in it. It made such a big difference than where I piled it into a mould that didn't have any shine to it either. And certainly using that pure glossy has really worked brilliantly for that. The frog has got a couple of bubbles in. I didn't put it in my pressure pot, but I actually quite like those bubbles. I think they look quite pretty. I do like that, and I think again that will light up really well on a night light. Yeah, overall very pleased with them. Didn't mind the first skull, but preferred the second. But I really like the frog and the turtle. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if you've done something similar. I'm always interested to find out. Check out the video that I've got coming up next. I'm sure you'll love that one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.